Today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the possibility of the PlayStation 5 featuring backwards compatibility. There's more news on the new Battlefield title that's set to come this year, and GTA 6 may have a female main character. More on that in a little bit. First, let's talk about the possibility of the PlayStation 5 featuring backwards compatibility. Now, this has been a huge topic with the PlayStation 4. The PlayStation 4 obviously does not feature backwards compatibility, and that is one of the main factors that the Xbox One actually has over the PlayStation 4 is the fact that the Xbox One, while it's not entirely backwards compatible, it does feature some sort of backwards compatibility, and that backwards compatibility is always growing. With the PlayStation 4, it does have PlayStation Now, but nobody really wants to stream their games. The connection isn't all too good, and a lot of you guys might already own a slew of PlayStation 3 games that you just want to play on your PlayStation 4. Obviously, that is impossible. However, it does look like PlayStation 5 backwards compatibility might be a little bit more likely. As pointed out by PlayStation Universe, it's looking more likely because a US patent was updated by Sony. It says, quote, backwards compatibility testing of software in a mode that disrupts timing. The patent was originally filed in 2015, and while this isn't any confirmation, I think Sony knows that they would be foolish to leave out backwards compatibility with the PlayStation 5, especially because that is one of the primary factors that Xbox has going for it, and if with the next Xbox they're gonna get backwards compatibility with Xbox One titles, I see no reason why Microsoft wouldn't implement that, especially because they implemented it with the Xbox One and the 360. Then right out of the gate, the PlayStation 5 is gonna be at a huge disadvantage versus the next Xbox, and that timing of pre-release until release is so important, and we really learned how important that was because of this generation. When everything went down with Xbox and used games, it really put a bad stigma around Microsoft and Xbox, and this time the tables can really be flipped. If Microsoft goes ahead and announces, yes, we've got backwards compatibility on the next Xbox, we've got Game Pass, which is going to allow you to play a bunch of Xbox One games on the next Xbox, and with the PlayStation 5, it's just a brand new console, $60 games, no backwards compatibility. Well, even with the incredible lineup of exclusives that PlayStation platforms usually have, I don't know if that would be enough to outweigh the sheer value that the next Xbox would offer. I think Sony is aware of that, and the announcements of the PlayStation 5 and the next Xbox is going to be very interesting because I think Sony and Microsoft now have a clearer understanding of who their consumers are, and this generation was a really big eye-opener, especially in the case of Microsoft. You've seen them do a complete 180 with implementing things like Game Pass and backwards compatibility. They're really offering a gamer-friendly product, and with PlayStation, I'm not saying they're going the other way, but I think a lot of gamers gave them a pass with the PlayStation 4 not having backwards compatibility, since we know PlayStation 3 had a horrendous cell architecture, and maybe emulating that on the PlayStation 4 would be difficult. With the PlayStation 5, they have no excuses to not offer backwards compatibility with PlayStation 4 games. Hopefully that comes to fruition, but even so, the PlayStation 5 is a long ways out. I expect a 2020 release at the earliest. This year is packed with exclusives. It looks like next year is going to be packed with exclusives. By 2020, maybe even a little bit later than that, that is when we should see the PS5, but of course that's speculation on my part. Moving on from that, more details about Battlefield 2018 have emerged. Originally, GamesBeat were the ones that leaked Battlefield 5, and they've got more information about the titles, namely its campaign and mechanics. GamesBeat claims Battlefield 5 single-player mode will include various different stories packed into one overarching campaign. That's pretty interesting. Battlefield 1 had a similar style. Now, of course, if you don't know, Battlefield 1 was set in World War I, Battlefield 5 is supposedly set in World War II, and it's also noted that Battlefield 5 might be a placeholder title, so take that title with a grain of salt. That name might change. It also looks like DICE is working on a cooperative mode for Battlefield 5. No clear indication of what this is, whether this will be a cooperative campaign or some other entirely different mode, so that should be very interesting. And finally, GamesBeat is claiming that players can now go prone on their back, similar to what we see in Rainbow Six Siege. The next Battlefield title, whether it be called Battlefield 5, Battlefield World War II, or whatever the case may be, the game should be released by the end of the year, and as we approach closer to E3, you know more information about this game is going to come out. Very exciting, and after the success of Battlefield 1, DICE has a lot of quality they can build off of. And finally, we have to talk about Grand Theft Auto 6 and the fact that it might have a female lead character. This comes from The Know, a Rooster Teeth YouTube channel, and they claim to have an inside source claiming that GTA 6 will be in Vice City, and that players will have the option to fly over South America. Most interestingly, of course, is that the game will feature a female lead character, which I think it's about time for this and really goes with the climate of society right now. I don't want to get into that debate in this video. We're focusing on gaming, and whatever the case may be, Grand Theft Auto 6 is still a far ways out. They do say the release will be around 2021 or 2022, so that is a very long time. If it released in 2022, that would be 9 years after the release of Grand Theft Auto 5. That is insane, but I guess with Rockstar alternating between Grand Theft Auto and Red Dead Redemption, it's kind of understandable, but still, 9 years between games is ridiculous. So that is gonna conclude this video. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below. What would you think if the PlayStation 5 did or did not have backwards compatibility? Do you think this is an essential feature for the next PlayStation? Personally speaking, I think it is, because if the next Xbox has backwards compatibility, I think a lot of gamers would go for that. What do you think about the next Battlefield? Does Battlefield and World War II interest you? And what do you think about the possibility of GTA 6 being in Vice City and having a female lead character? Sound off with your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.